Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you who live in Ireland. Isn't it so great that we have a day where our tiny little island on the planet just gets to have its own day. And I guess also happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you that live outside of Ireland. Yeah, just know that it's our day today, so you all have to be nice to us today, alright? But anyway, so yeah, I decided to celebrate St. Patrick's Day by not going to the parade, but rather I went to go see Shazam Fury of the Gods. Yes, I know, not really much of a St. Patrick's Day movie, but well, it was on the cinema, and as you guys may know, I'm very excited to see it, but yeah, so anyways, I went to go see Shazam Fury of the Gods today, and what did I think of it? Thankfully, it was much better than 65. Yeah, and I was a little concerned because I had been looking at the reviews for Shazam Fury of the Gods, and they were saying that it wasn't very good, it was average, it wasn't as good as the first movie. And I mean, after last weekend's disappointment, I was a little concerned about this film, but I went and saw it today, and I am happy to say that it was not a disappointment. Now, okay, I'll admit I didn't quite like it quite as much as the first movie. I still thought that the first movie was much better, but with that being said though, I still thought that it was a very good movie. And thankfully, it was an improvement over Black Adam. Because if you guys saw my review of Black Adam, you may remember that I was not a huge fan of it. I thought it was average, and I was a bit disappointed by it because I had been rather excited for it. But thankfully, I can say that was not the case with Shazam Fury of the Gods. No, I actually really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's right, guys. Shazam's movie was great. None of you were in it, but it was a great movie. But so anyways, now if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna pass the camera over to this guy right here. Okay, so anyways, let's get a little bit deeper into my thoughts on Shazam Fury of the Gods. So, to start things off, the cinematography was once again very good. The film is, of course, it's shot very well. The pace in the movie is also it's pretty good. It doesn't really rush, but doesn't really drag either. You know what? I think I might actually change some of these points because I'll be honest, it is actually starting to get a little bit repetitive now. But anyways, yeah, and I thought that the sounds and music was very good. I actually really liked the soundtrack in this movie. I actually thought the soundtrack was very good. I thought it was a great soundtrack. The editing was pretty good too. I thought the film was edited together quite well. Now, as for the characters,
Rocket a dragon. I love my life.
I thought that Billy was a great character in the first movie, and in this movie he is once again very good. Once again he's very funny, and like I mean, and like and the thing is as well, like, he's pretty much he's in his Shazam body for pretty much the majority of this movie. I mean, like, of course there are scenes where he's in his normal body, but for the majority of this film he is in his Shazam body. And yeah, I think actually I thought that Billy was once again a great protagonist.
Powers, child.
Freddy was also once again very good in this movie. And we do get to see a little bit more of him in his adult body, but yeah, and I do think that once again Freddy is very good in this movie, just like he was in the first film.
To fight crime?
Okay.
Now everyone's kind of like doing their own thing, and I'm the only one trying to keep it together.
We also have his other four foster siblings, with Darla, Eugene, Mary, and Pedro, and I mean, like, they didn't appear all too much in the first movie. Okay, they did appear a bit in the first movie, but I mean, for the majority of the first movie, it was just Billy and Freddy, and like you know, like how Billy becomes a superhero, and like Freddy is like helping him, like House of Master being a superhero. But like yeah, I mean the other four foster siblings, Darla, Eugene, Mary, and Pedro. I mean, like, they didn't really they were there all right. They had their own scenes, but it wasn't really until the film's third act when they actually started to become like genuinely important. But however, in this movie, they're actually much bigger in this film. They actually have a lot more screen time in this movie than they did in the first film, and yeah, like, and I thought all of them were good. I mean. Like, I liked them a little bit more in the first one, but yeah, well, that being said though, I still thought that, like, they were, like, very good, regardless. They once again, they had some very good scenes. They have some good scenes when they're in, like, their normal bodies, and also when they're in, like, their adult bodies as well, and like, not to mention, like, the little girl who plays Darla and the little boy who plays Eugene. Like, I mean, they've actually gotten older, like, since the first movie. Like, especially the kid who plays Eugene. Like, wow, he really has gotten a bit older since the first film. I mean, granted, that is kind of expected, because, I mean, it has been, like, nearly 4 years since the first movie came out. It's like, damn, nearly 4 years already. But, yeah, and, like, also, not to mention, like, even Asher Angel, the kid who plays Billy, like, even he's actually gotten a bit older since the first film. And But yeah, like yeah, I thought they were all very good in this movie. I think as a team they worked like very well together and stuff, and so I thought they were all very good.
Now go fight for your family.
We also have Shazam the Wizard, who is back from the first movie. Cause like the thing is, in the first movie, like he didn't really appear all too much. Like I mean, he was really only in the movie for like the first like 35 minutes or so, and then once he gives his powers to Billy, then he pretty much he kind of just dies after that. He just turns into a bunch of ashes, and then we never see him again for the rest of the movie, except aside from this one flashback. But in this film, however, he has actually been restored to life, because well, I mean, they do explain the movie like after but he Billy when he broke the staff in the first movie. So remember, when he broke the staff in the climax of the first movie, it actually ends up balancing the world of the gods or something, and yeah, because of it, the wizard ended up being returned to life, and he was in prison, pretty much punished. And I thought that Shazam the Wizard, from what we did see of him in the first movie, he was a solid character. I think in this movie, he's alright too. I still think that djimon honsou does a great performance as him, but to be fair, he is pretty much great whatever he's in, but one thing I did find kind of weird though was that in this movie, because in the first film he was just, he spoke in the normal just wizard language, and he had that big booming voice, and yeah, he really just wasn't the kind of person to be messing with, because he could get very angry and stuff, but well, he is kind of like that at the start of this movie. As the film goes on, he does kind of start to get a bit more comedic. He sort of starts to act a bit like an MCU Phase 4 character, if you know what I'm saying. And I do absolutely hate bringing up the MCU in a DC review, but with that being said though, I did find it kind of weird how they did a complete 180 on the Wizards. He is still a solid character, but I did find that kind of weird though.
The daughters of Atlas are coming for you.
Children stole the power of all the gods. This is very personal, Billy.
And then we have the three daughters of Atlas. So first up we have Hespera, and she sort of acts as the leader of these three, and I thought she was very good. Although I gotta say though, Calypso though, wow, she's kind of the most evil of the three of them, and she does start to become more of the central antagonist as the film goes along. Yeah, I've gotta say, I loved Calypso. Wow, I've gotta say, I thought she was definitely my favorite of the three. Wow, she actually made for such a brilliant film. I had a feeling alright from the trailer, so I was really gonna like her, but yeah, I will say, she was very good. She was definitely my favorite of the three. And then we have his daughter Anthea, who actually isn't really an antagonist, because she meets up with Freddy, and like then she kind of starts to become a bit more heroic like. But I thought Anthea was very good too. Um but anyway, so yeah, like so yeah, I thought the three of them were all very good, especially Calypso. Um the plot of the movie was very good too. Um I thought that, like, once again, the film did, like, it has a very good story, which, like, I mean, and just, like, it did really make a lot of sense, and, I mean, like, it was a very good story in the film. It executed it very well. The narrative structure was also really good. It was also pretty good. Like, I mean, the movie does focus on, like, the main story, like, about, like, how, they have to, like, how they have to face off against, like, these sisters, and, like, I mean, there's a few subplots, and, I mean, I do think most of them are pretty solid. Like, there was one or two things that I wasn't a huge fan of that just didn't really make a lot of sense, but overall I still thought it was very good. So yeah, overall, Shazam: Fury of the Gods was a really good movie. I didn't like it quite as much as the first movie, but to be fair though, I absolutely loved the first Shazam movie, and it is a film that I'll admit is a pretty hard to beat, but like, yeah, I did think that Shazam: Fury of the Gods was a really good movie. And I can say that, unlike a certain other movie which came out last weekend, it was actually able to live up to the hype. And yeah, it did have a lot of it once again, just like the first movie, it had a lot of humor. And well, I think I slightly preferred the humor from the first movie. I still thought it was very good, and even as in despite all the humor, it still did focus on, you know, being like a good movie, having a good story and stuff. You know, like unlike a certain MCU movie, but anyway, so yeah, anyways, yeah, the action sequences were very good, the visual effects were very good. Overall, Shazam: Fury of the Gods was a really good movie, and I had an absolute blast watching it. And so with that, I am going to give Shazam: Fury of the Gods a very strong 8 out of 10. So yeah, with that, I'll see you guys next time, and happy St. Patrick's Day.